Hey, what's up guys, Connor Comics here. Now today we are doing a look at my Spider-Man collection. So these are all of my trade paperbacks, omni-buy and oversized hardcovers. So the first book that we're going to look at is actually a series of books, and that would be the Superior Spider-Man series. So this was actually the first ever trade paperback that I got, and so this is like dear to my heart. So we have Volume 1, My Own Worst Enemy, Volume 2, A Troubled Mind, Volume 3, No Escape. I'm actually going to move this back ever so slightly. There you go. Spider-Man Necessary Evil, which had Spider-Man 2029 in it. We then have Superior Venom. And finally, Goblin Nation. So yeah, this was a mini-series where Dr. Octopus was Spider-Man for a bit. He was inside Peter Parker's body, and he got up to different mischief, and it was a really fun series. Thoroughly enjoyed it. One of the first ever series that I picked up from Marvel, and first ever series that I completed from Marvel. So this is why this is dear, very dear to my heart, this series. Next trade paperback that we're going to look at is another Dan Slott run. Now it's one that I haven't actually read yet, but I've had it in my collection for a bit of time, and that would be Spider-Man Venom Inc. So I believe this is where Dan Slott tried to fix the whole Venom problem, because at the time there were so many Venoms. You had Venom, you had Carnage, you had Anti-Venom, so it was just trying to bring it back to the core of Venom, I believe was the idea of this book. I can't exactly remember, but as you can see, collecting Spider-Man 792 to 793, Venom 159 and 160, and Amazing Spider-Man Venom Inc. Omega 1, and also Alpha 1. So yeah. Now this one I'm including because I have another one in here which I shouldn't technically count, but I do, so I'm going to get those two books out of the way. So the first one is this one because it has Spider-Man in it, so I'm going to count it, and that is Spider-Man Deadpool Isn't It Bromantic, Volume 1. So yeah, as you can see, collecting 1 to 5 and 8. And this one I'm going to include, even though I don't think it actually has Spider-Man in it, or if it does, it's only going to be a small cameo. And that is the Superior Foes of Spider-Man. Now, I know this is just basically a Sinister 5 team, but still, it has Spider-Man in the title, so I'm going to count it. But yeah, I've been meaning to read this. I've heard good things about it. Also, it's written by Nick Spencer, so one day I will get round to reading this. So yeah. Next book we have, which I'm actually planning to pick up the next Miles Morales omnibus soon. Don't know when I'm actually going to do that, but it is planned. And that is the Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man omnibus. So yeah, this collects all of Brian Michael Bendis' original run on the character, including Spider-Man, where Peter Parker meets Miles Morales. So this is before the event Secret Wars, where then he became part of the 616 universe. So I know that run has actually come out in an omnibus, so that's the omnibus that I am planning to pick up next. But yeah, this is Miles Morales, the Ultimate Spider-Man. Next is one that I haven't read because the artwork looks a bit mix and match. But yeah, that would be this series, which is Spider-Man Tangled Web. I only picked this up because I seen that Garth Ennis was one of the writers on it, and then it turns out that he just has a mini-series. It's apparently just a collection of a bunch of different mini-series. Haven't even got round to this, don't even know if it's any good, but yeah, I have it. Next book we have, which I know there's volume 2 out of this as well, which I need to pick up. And that is The Amazing Spider-Man by J. Michael Straczynski and art by John Romita Jr. Now, I know there's mixed opinions on this run. Some of it is very good, but then it does seem to go into the whole totem that, like, Spider-Man was meant to be Spider-Man because of, like, the spider totem. And then it also has stories like One More Day and stories like that. So some of this run is mix and match, but yeah, I enjoyed the first volume. I'm going to pick up the next volume and see what it's like. But yeah, it's Spider-Man. What's not to love? Like, next is a classic, which is this book, which is Spider-Man Kraven's Last Hunt, the deluxe edition. So yeah, it's basically Kraven hunting after Spider-Man. So yeah, and then him also coming out with the black suit. So I actually really enjoyed this book, but then it does collect a few others from like so it does collect a few other series, just a few miscellaneous. But yeah, I did really enjoy this book, and yeah. Next is a classic which has a bunch of classic Venom in here, and that would be The Amazing Spider-Man by David Mucchelli and Todd McFarlane. I do know that there is another book that collects David Mucchelli and I think it's like Eric Larson, I want to say his name is, but what I've noticed is most of the material, I already have it in this book, so I don't really want to spend 60-70 euro for a book that's just going to double dip on stories that I already have. I know there is going to be other stories in there, but I don't really want to double dip. And the final book that we are going to look at, which I haven't read, but it's sort of like my pride and joy of my collection, and I still have it in the wrap, and there's a reason behind that, and that would be The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1 by Stan Lee, because I know that this is out of print, and when I checked it on Amazon the other day, I actually seen that this book alone is fetching for 700 euro. Yeah. Would I sell it? Most likely not, but I just like it being like my pride and joy of my collection. Like, yeah. So as you can see, still has the film on it. So yeah, that is the end of my Spider-Man collection. Tell me if you want to do any other characters, and I may consider it and get it uploaded. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in another video. Peace.